take questions for either Roger or Ryan. We have a question over here. Go ahead.
Roger, Andy Horbury from Autosport in England. Just want to hear your thoughts about Sam Hornish's performance today.
Well, I would say that I was really surprised, but I was confident when we made the decision to bring him in to be our third car. And I know Ryan and Kurt have worked with him a lot, over the last week and in the tests here and then in Vegas and then in California. But he drove a masterful race. He was working with the teammates. I think that he's going to be a real great team player here. And to finish 15th in his first race, stayed out of trouble. I was amazed, and I know the team was excited. And certainly, you got to take a chance. We started with Ryan in what we called an ABC program, ARCA, Busch, and Cup, and we're sitting here at the Daytona 500 victory table. So I hope we can do the same thing with Sam someday.
We're going to take two more down here and then go upstairs. Go Mike, and then we'll go here to Mark. Go ahead.
Mike Mulhern, Winston-Salem Journal. For Ryan, when you're coming off, the last lap, and you see Tony go low, you must have been dumbfounded. What were you thinking right then the next 2 or 3 seconds?
Well, I know Tony was mirror driving. I mean, I was doing the same thing, and Tony saw his teammate coming, and obviously you want that push. You want that push from your teammate versus anybody else. And I was going to do what I had to shuck and jive him there to make a run down the back straightaway. And you're right, he opened the door. The seas parted, and like I said, Kurt was the push from heaven that made it all happen. And I have to thank Kurt, first and foremost. But Tony was very much a sportsman. He could have made that Home Depot Dodge extremely wide, and he chose to race.
Got a question back here. Then we'll go up top. Go ahead.
This is for both you guys. Could you both comment on Roy's situation and Ryan, what it means to be reunited with them, and just what last year has been like trying to support him through his tough time?
I would say that Roy's situation was as tough as I think anybody could probably go through, and I was really tight with Roy even when he was crew chief for Kurt with in the start of 06, and I did my best to try to keep him around to be the crew chief on the Busch team in 06, and he had a great opportunity to move up when Rusty left and Kurt came, and it just everything came back together for us. Where Roy and I have we have very similar backgrounds. Both of our dads used to own auto repair shops. He was born and raised in Maryland. I was born and raised in Indiana, and just our lives kind of shadow each other, just with maybe a 7-year delay or whatever it is, 4-year delay, and it's just it's really awesome. We think a lot alike, we act a lot alike. It's just he's a great guy, and what his wife went through. My wife is very very close with Amy, his wife, and they did a lot of things together when we did our foundation efforts with the animals, and she actually owned the marketing company, so we stayed in very close contact with Amy and Roy through that ordeal, and happy to say that Amy is on the mend.
Question, go ahead, Mark.
Ryan, Mark Kriegel, Fox Sports. When you woke up this morning, what did you think your chances were of winning this race?
Really good. I honestly did. I mean, and I had. It happens to you no matter what you do, what sport you're in. But I have people come up to me and say, "Today's your day. I can feel it. I know it." I'm like, "You want to say, yeah, I feel it too," but you just kind of go with the flow. And it was, so many things could have happened and taken us out of it. But I felt that we had a car that was capable of winning with the Altel Dodge, and I felt that way throughout all practices. We cut our practice short yesterday just to, be conservative, and like I said, all the moons aligned, and it happened. It happened right.
We'll go upstairs to the press box. Go ahead.
Bruce Martin with Sports Ticker. Roger, if you could speak a little bit to what a team player Kurt Busch has been in all this. He went along with the decision to swap points, give his points to Sam Hornish. That worked out very well here. And then he goes and gives Ryan the push that he needed to win the Daytona 500. If you could talk a little bit about the team player mentality that Kurt showed, throughout this situation.
Well, I think we started this season, with all three drivers, all three crew chiefs, the engineering folks together, and said, look, we got to make this, one effort. And, certainly when Kurt stepped back and, we moved the points to Sam, obviously there was, a lot of discussion about that. But what people don't realize, we gave our points to the Waltrip team 2 years ago. And the good news was that Sam drove his way into the race, and Jarrett got in the race, so that made me feel good. But I think, Kurt and, Ryan maybe are different. They do different things Monday through Friday, but I can tell you now at the racetrack, the three drivers get together after every practice, and it's made a huge difference, I think, in communication. And obviously on the racetrack, if you can't win yourself, you want your teammate to win, because I've always said we win as a team, and we lose as a team.
We'll stay upstairs. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mike Harris from AP. Roger, it was the move to North Carolina, to consolidating the team in North Carolina, aimed more specifically at trying to get more success in NASCAR?
Well, I think when you have, we had Penske Racing North and Penske Racing South, and that always bothered me. I wanted to have one Penske Racing, and I think, getting together with Don, and we decided that we had this opportunity to get this big shop, and we could put all the disciplines under one roof. We've had a lot of cross-pollination. We moved drivers from our crew members from the different disciplines, and I think it's made a huge difference. We got one location, one set of people that manage it, and we get the benefit, of the experience that we have. And to me, I think it was the right move, because our sponsors like it, the fans like it. We've opened up our shop with our fan walk to the fans that come in. I get a number of people down here today that said, boy, we love going to your shop, and that makes us feel good. But I think Ryan will say that, your relationship with Kurt, has made a big difference for him. He really wants that, too. I think he came down to the winner's circle crying when he saw that Ryan won, because he knew how much it meant. And the fact that he could make a big difference in that victory, I think, is special to him, and certainly you.
Yeah, I was looking forward to him coming down, because it's you can't do it without a team, and you can't do it without teammates sometimes. And like I said, everything aligned itself so Kirk could help push me, and I'm just grateful for that.
We'll stay upstairs. Go ahead.
Thomas Pope from the Fayetteville Observer. Ryan, it's funny that you said Tony in the Home Depot Dodge.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Which leads to my
I was
question.
dodging them, that's all.
Which leads to my question. Could both of you address what's changed with Dodge since Dodge finished 6 out of the top 8 today?
Well, we got a different situation with this car at this racetrack, and I think that's part of it. I think our Penske Jasper Engine Company did a great job. That made up for 2 of the 6, and that's a lot in itself. Just when you're trying to run wide open, the horsepower underneath the hood makes a world of difference when the cars are so similar. And outside of that, it's probably part just racing.
We'll stay upstairs. Go ahead.
Bob Margolis, Yahoo Sports. This is for Roger. Roger, going into this race, all the talk was about the Hendrick teams and about the Toyota teams. And in the open wheel world, you're really the standard that everybody aims at. You're the Hendrick and the Toyotas of the open wheel world. How did that affect you in the way you discussed the situation coming into this race with your teams? And does this kind of give you a step in the right direction so that you can now consider yourself to be headed in that direction, that you can be considered in the same breath with the Hendricks and the Gibbs and the RCRs?
Well, obviously, when you think of Rick's team and RCR and Gibbs, and these are world-class teams that have won this race many times, and we wouldn't be here if we didn't think we could win. I can tell you that every year we've been here, we've been close, but I think this year we were confident that a lot of things had come together, and to me, we got a long way to go before we can say sit at the table with those guys, but we're coming close.
We'll stay upstairs. Go ahead.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Roger, many years ago when I was a fan and not a writer of this sport, I remember when you were here with Bobby Allison and winning at Riverside with Mark Donahue, and you were very gracious then in talking about how difficult and how much maybe more difficult than you thought winning in NASCAR was. I just wonder how much this means to you. You haven't won a championship, but in winning the biggest race after so many Indy 500s, how important was this to settle that score for you personally as one of the leading figures in international motorsports?
Well, I can tell you that, you needed to win this race, to get in that class, and we did that. And, certainly our wins at Indy have been important to us, but there is no question when you run 35 or 36 races a year with a tight competition and the way the sport has been developed, by the France family, it's tough. And I don't think it's any easier this year than it was last year. And if you can get in and you can race with these guys, I love it. I mean, I come to the races, been to a lot of races, obviously. We've won a lot. But to me, to come and have the opportunity to win, which we have here, and then to be able to execute is certainly special. And as I said earlier, this goes, to the top of the charts for victories for Penske Racing.
We'll stay upstairs for